All right, welcome back to the For the Bag podcast. I know I've been having fun on this one. Arsenal have beaten Bournemouth 3-2 at the death. And if you want my initial reaction, there is a video on this channel in the shorts. Go check it out.
That's fantastic.
Ecstatic. Ecstatic
happy.
is how I would put that. Just ecstatic.
Just a little bit over the moon.
My man over the moon. Well, yeah, it was a beautiful goal. It was a beautiful way to end the game. Beautiful.
I mean,
put his laces through it.
Altogether, like this game was. I mean, I've been hearing biggest moment at the Emirates ever. And when I think
it could end up being that.
When I think about it, the only one that comes close for me, and people are citing Welbeck's winner versus Leicester in the 15-16 season. That's a big one. And we did the double over Leicester. We don't remember that. I remember two things. About that season. One, we overtook Tottenham on the last day of the season. Two, it's a shambles. How did we not win the league when everyone else was terrible? That's the only thing I remember about that season. But my other competitor would be Andre Arshavin and Robin van Persie getting goals versus Barcelona at the Emirates that is up there as well. But yeah, I mean, if we win the league, this is definitely going to be
huge moment,
monstrous moment.
But all right, we'll walk through the goals, but let's talk about that first goal by Bournemouth because I went back and I watched it. They had to have seen something on tape to set it up the way they did. I mean, it was like blitzkrieg, let's go. Like, let's go all for it.
It's the new,
It was
a trick play.
I mean, it's pathetic by Arsenal.
It's the FIFA. No, it's the FIFA. Honestly, you know what this is? He took a page. I'm telling you, this is how it is on FIFA 23. There's a kickoff glitch where if you press full and you're at full attack, just all out attack, and you hit full press as if you're in defense right before the kickoff, your players just shoot forward with the ball. So you have like 7 guys in the box by the time you get down there, and you can just either dink and dink pass, which is what I usually do if I get it to work right. Because crossing, it's way too much of a variable for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just went with the cross because they were like, you know what, set it, and it worked. Like, but there was a couple players there who
were
watching it. Yeah. They should have restarted the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah, look, man, we're not getting those
calls. But VAR can know offsides by a fingernail. That's all I'm saying.
We're not getting those calls this season. Look, I will touch on that, but we're not getting those calls this season. This was a trick onside kick play.
Cheeky.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Texas A&M. Like how did we fall? What?
And it threw y'all off.
I was so mad.
Threw you off.
I mean, first of all, they didn't get in front of the cross. There's 2 of you there, by the way. Martinelli kind of sort of lollygagged back, and Gabriel, it doesn't get close enough, and we let them get the cross off. And then I don't know what Tomiyasu is. Tomiyasu was literally in Gabriel's pocket. Like he was on his lap while his man was free on the back post. It's 9 seconds into the game, guys.
Get your head up.
The ref's blowing the whistle. The game has started. It's the second fastest goal in Premier League history.
Yeah, 9 seconds.
I couldn't believe it. And then, a lot of people have said that we didn't really respond for a while. I disagree completely. I thought that the game immediately reverted to the way it was for most of the game. Like immediately reverted. I actually we were talking a little bit earlier about how in high school we played against some of these really random, small schools. There's a place in the low country of South Carolina, out in the middle of nowhere, called Branchville High School. And essentially they got like half the baseball team and half the football team together to field a soccer team.
Oh, no.
And
oh no.
I kid you not, at all times there were 9 men in their box.
Yeah.
Even when the ball
Wow.
was on our half of the field, they had 2 people running after it.
Yeah.
And they left the rest of their team in the box.
It's Barcelona v Chelsea. Just
It was that's what we saw. That's what we saw against Bournemouth. And hey, they got their goal 9 seconds in. All right, let's
might
sit
as
on
well
it.
pack it. Yeah.
The time wasting started immediately. And so I mean, I get it. That's how they were going to play anyway. But people are saying, "Oh, Arsenal struggled. Arsenal weren't able to, pass through the lines. Arsenal weren't able to get good shots off. It was block after block after block." Well, yeah.
9 people in the
Yeah.
box.
How many times was their line, and they were holding their line together,
Right.
and they were 5 yards in front of their keeper.
You had 80% possession this
The
game.
statistics in this game are ridiculous.
I don't want to hear it. Right. 31 shots with 931. You almost took 1,000 touches this week.
Oh,
Ridiculous stats. Yeah, well, what do we have? 9 or 10 shots on goal.
17 corners.
We had almost 20 corners.
17.
I wanted to go back to the time wasting. I wonder if that is a tactic most teams are going to use because they've seen how frustrated y'all get. Like, it kind of riles y'all up.
Yeah, I think more so the hatchet job that some people come with us gets us more riled up. The time wasting thing, I disagree actually completely moving forward, because that's twice in a row now teams have gotten punished against us for their time wasting. Emi Martinez time wasting with the best of them, punished, like embarrassingly so. And then Steve Cook goes down a second into extra time. In the 90th, in the 90th minute, Neto whispers in his ear, "Hey man, go down and stand up and lay on the ground for a minute." They just put it on at the end, and we score in the 97th minute after stoppage time's over. People talking about, "Oh, it's a conspiracy. The FA's trying to get Arsenal to win the league." No, it's just you guys are coming in time wasting, and the referees having none of it.
Right.
That's the only good decision that. You know what? The center ref, I thought, was halfway decent. VAR was a shambles. The center ref was actually, I didn't have a huge issue. I mean, apart from not protecting our players, but that's every game. But I mean, the first goal is unforgivable, and then to give a goal on a corner kick.
That was a free header too. Like nobody.
Well, Partey got screened. Thomas Partey got screened, but still, man, you got to shove those guys out the way.
You gotta mark your man. You gotta find a way to mark your man and stay with your man, right?
Not an excuse, but Emmy Smith, and then I mean, Trossard went down to the 22nd minute, like 1-0 down. And now we have Eddie wasn't even on the bench. Jesus is injured. Eddie's not even on the bench, and now our only other number 9, is kind of person who could actually be like, more of a natural number 9 has now gone down. And we're down 1-0, 22nd minute. I'm sitting here going,
who's going to score?
What am I watching right now? And Smith Rowe comes on. I thought he was good. I thought he did his thing. And it did mean that Martinelli kind of stayed down the middle a bit more, which is all right. I don't mind that. But then when they scored again off the corner, I was like, this isn't really happening, is it? I was like, what's going on right here? I'm like sinking down in the couch, like what?
It was Bournemouth's wet dream this week.
Yeah, it was.
They thought.
I will say this, like at no point did I think we were rattled. I think it was at 1-0 Zinchenko was doing this to the crowd on like a throw-in or something. Like there was no point where I thought, they're just capitulating. They're just, and it's one thing that I want to bring to attention in this season is that in every single game, no matter what the circumstance, we've tried to play the system. We've tried to play our game. We've stuck to our philosophy. You haven't seen Arsenal knocking long balls.
Right, just
Trying
giving
to
up and hailing it, right?
trying to just whatever we can manage. Even that does not happen this season. It happened a few times last season where we kind of got undisciplined and last season we would have maybe lost this game or drew this game. But they keep pressing, they keep going every single game to the last minute, and I'm just absolutely love that. Absolutely love to see that, no matter what's going on. And then Smith Rowe gets the assist for the Partey goal. Partey immediately makes up for his mistake on the back post and gets the goal.
It's big.
But the real impact, 67th minute, Reece Nelson comes on. And worth noting that they bring Smith Rowe back off, who got subbed on in the 19th minute. And I heard in the press conference, Arteta didn't even want to bring Smith Rowe on at all.
Is he still carrying a little bit of that injury?
I mean, he's just not match fit, is what
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
Even in the U21 games where I watched the highlights because he's been trying to get fitness, he just didn't look like he had the pace at the moment. And I understand it because we needed more directness. We needed somebody who was going to run at the defense and cause problems and try to get in there. And every time Nelson touched the ball, that's what he was trying to do. I mean, his very first touch was a glory cross to the most unlikely of goal scorers. Ben White comes in on the back post with just the coolest volley. Like you can tell, like when these kinds of balls are coming to you, like if you've played, what I'm talking about. It's like just get this
that
on.
one's perfect. That was perfect.
Get this on frame. Yeah. It's coming at me so fast.
All I gotta do is
just somehow, some way get, and he smacks it into the ground. Goal line technology gives the goal. Yep. And I remember when Partey scored, I didn't really get super excited. I was like, keep going. We have to keep going. That was my first thought. I was like, we have to keep pushing. And then when Ben White scored, I was like, yeah, it's there for us. It's there for us. And then it was just wave after wave after wave after shot after half chance after header goes past the bar after and
you get frustrated in games like that. Like I'm gonna be honest, you get frustrated. Like even though if you're taking those shots, you have 30 shots on goal, but dude, it's really easy to get frustrated when 15 of those don't hit the target or the goal. Like you get your head about you, and you just like you said, there wasn't a moment in this game where y'all seemed real downtrodden about what the situation really was. I think you knew you outclassed Bournemouth. It was just a matter of time.
I'll admit though, 93rd minute or something like that, I was like starting to accept it. Yeah. I was like, man, are we really gonna drop points to Bournemouth? I remember.
We all picked Arsenal to win 4-0.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember Lauren saying to me, real late in the game, she's like, "Well, but we came back, right? And from 2-0 down, it's a good comeback." And I was like, "Yeah, it's still an awful result."
Yeah,
those are my words. It's still a terrible result, And then
my boy hits
goes over to the back post in the 95th minute. Right at the end of the 5th minute, ball goes over to the back post. Reece passes it off to Zinchenko. Who Zinchenko hits the shot, and it was not going in. But it deflects, and I thought it was going in when it deflected off the guy. I was like, oh, and then on the corner kick, I was like, man, that's it right there. And we ran the same corner that we'd run another 16 times. You'd think they would know we're going to have that man in the position standing next to the referee, at the back. And I mean, you've seen the video.
Put his laces right through it.
It's a FIFA goal.
It is.
He's right-footed. You know that.
Oh, that's even better.
That was his weaker foot.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch the goal, he actually has a little dink of a touch with his right foot to set it up to his left. and smash it in the only open lane
Yeah.
there's been for 90 minutes into the back post. And what was so cool is coolest man in the stadium scores the goal. Everyone, Arsenal fans across the globe are losing their
it.
minds. And Reece Nelson is just Willie Saliba's not even celebrating with him. Willie Saliba just ran to the corner flag. Martin Odegaard fell on the ground. Martin Odegaard literally fell on the ground with his back to the, and just fingers up in the sky. I mean, we're gonna catch a fine because the entire bench, except for Arteta, stormed the field.
Yeah.
Somehow a little kid got on the field.
What?
Arteta's like grabs him, is like, what? What in the? Who's this?
Some
And
parent threw their kid. Dog,
kid
just
is on
go.
the
Pure
field.
pandemonium.
Go, little Charlie.
Absolute scenes, man. Absolute craziness. And yeah, it's got to be up there. Craziest best moment the Emirates has seen. Man, and you remember my first text after I calmed down. My very first text was that, that feels, as you said, X, like a champions type of comeback. And yes, it's Bournemouth, and we shouldn't be giving we shouldn't be giving anybody 2 goals in that manner at home, especially if we think we have title credentials. If we want to win this title, you can't be doing that at all. But the manner of the comeback, the emotion of the comeback was immense.
I don't know if I read this or heard this, but Arsenal has made up 15 points in matches that they were down in this year. Mm-hmm. And that right there is why y'all are leading the league. I mean, if you truly think about it, and and we'll get to Chelsea in a minute, but X will agree with me. It's those wins against the lower level table teams are the ones that get you the title. And you've done it now against Bournemouth. You went and you got your win against Everton on Wednesday, Thursday.
Dominated Leicester away from home.
Dominated Leicester. I mean,
Villa.
The years that Chelsea didn't win the league and they were playing well was the years that they found ways to lose to those lower level clubs.
Burnley.
Oh. Stop it. Stop it.
I love what happened with Arsenal. I think it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I'm a 93-20 guy, so I can appreciate moments like that. Yeah. And I'm a weird sports fan because I think this is where footy is more beautiful, because I actually rarely ever root for a team to lose as an opponent. A draw is acceptable for me. I was fine with a draw, because the only time I really wanted to win is when I played the team. I could care less about stuff. I'll take the draw. Dropping points is dropping points. But I'm proud of them. It does beg the question to me, though. I think they're in such a high spirit. I'm anticipating what they'll look like with Jesus back in the team, because I think it's obviously, like, there's 3 things. Obviously, there's multiple, but I think 3 things. It's either he's gonna help elevate them and they just go off sailing, which is very, very possible. The second thing is that he has to find his space, and that may affect some of sort of the flow they have going on, because I think they got a pretty good flow, even though they were down to Bournemouth. Maybe Liverpool will be down to Bournemouth next week as well. But I think I do wonder how it'll affect the flow. Is like, are they going to try to feed him or whatever just to get him, back to speed? Or is it something where some anomalous thing, I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to say it anyways. But some anomalous thing happens where it's something different, where maybe Jesus says, you know what, you got a good thing going on, I'll be your super sub, or you figure it out until you have that chemistry. I think what Arteta does with him and what he decides to do as a player will be really, really, I think it'll be paramount to what happens to close out, because I mean, can he play those 4 consecutive games against those heavyweights in name at least for sure, but in the league? Because I think his hold up play, his movements are going to be vital in games like that. And so, do you try to get him on now, or do you try to help get him to full strength? Because I mean, realistically, as a football fan, you look at Arsenal, you're like, why are they down to Bournemouth? Like, I didn't believe the scoreline when I saw they were down 1. I'm like, they're down 1. What? Like, I was like, this is garbage.
I didn't even get to cut the game on.
I will be
Like, I didn't even
honest
get
with
to
you.
cut the game on before they
I'll
had.
be honest with
When
you.
I cut
When
it
I
on and
saw
saw
you
1.
say they're already down 1-0, I thought you were talking about Chelsea. Like,
Honestly, when I got the text, so did I. But I was watching that game, so I was like, "No, we're not." Is
I
his
went
feet ahead of
and
mine?
looked, and I was like,
"There's no." And then I looked, and then I cut the Arsenal game on. I was like, "Holy!" Couldn't believe it. Then I had to look up. I had to like make it a point. I was like, "How did they get scored on in the 7 seconds that it took for me to get over to this game?"
Yeah, we were all wondering.
You know, a funny thing is Jake alluded to this when Arsenal played City, where he said something along the lines of the pedigree and the experience is not there yet. And we had the conversation and said, well, this will start to build that character. And for they played City 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Each of the weeks they've had to like yank it out every week. And X alluded to it. This is what champions are made of. And so if it's not the league, they win the champion chip in. If they win Europa, whatever. If they win both, I think.
If y'all smash United in the Europa final 7-0, bro.
Well, I was looking at Arsenal's coming up fixtures, man, and they got a lot of games coming up. Like they have 4 games and they're getting 3-day breaks in between. So the squad depth is gonna matter.
That's why that Georgie buy is so big for you guys to like. It really helps your squad more so than what a lot of people are realizing. Like Georgie's not the best quality of player. He makes a lot of simple mistakes. You have to play him in a very specialized, systematic role. I think Arteta has the skills and the tactics to do so, whereas Potter doesn't. Like Georgie's fine player under somebody like Tuchel or Arteta, or even I would say Pep. Like you play him to his strength. You don't really move him outside of that. You let him do what he does.
Thursday.
It's a big pickup for you guys because it can rest Partey, which is such a huge and vital point of your midfield. It's your glue. It's what's holding this midfield together so they can get the job done in the ways that they need to get it done to win games. We had N'Golo Kante do it for us in, year out. We won everything with him doing it. It's the glue that's holding your midfield together. It's a bigger piece. And to have him be able to be rested with somebody you can trust or who's proven, all right, I can at least do this for 45 to 50 minutes and not completely screw this game up. Georgie he does that. But it's huge for you guys, especially with the match congestion that you have coming up.
I just want to throw it out there that every chance X gets to slander Potter, he does it. I just want to throw it in there. Every chance he gets, he does it.
I hate that, man. Wait till we get to our game. I have nothing but bad things to say.
One more point I do want to make is I've heard, some people coming out and saying, yes, this emotion, these emotional kinds of wins are awesome. They're great. But it's like we're mid-May. There's still 30% of this season left. And can Arsenal continue to win games like this for 12 more games?
They can.
Oh, yeah. I think you got it. Yeah.
Question.
It's that youthful exuberance. You're fine there. You're fine there. It's more so continuing to find a way to win, but I think you'll have learned how to win, and that's tough. I mean, it really is the idea of learning how to win. There was, like you said, there was never a moment that the team was like, "Oh crap, we're not going to win this." Like they believed they were going to still win the game when they were down 2-0.
Same thing in the United game. Yeah.
Well, I have just a theoretic question. It's not like a real question. if Arsenal in the first leg of the Europa, they go down to Sporting, do they say let's hang this up and focus on the league? Like, say it's down like some silly number, right? That not realistic, but say it happens because everything is possible in life, right?
Sporting 3-0s
So
Arsenal.
say Sporting goes up 3-0. Do they put the resources into that for the next game, or do they focus on the league? I mean, they're not going to quit. I know they won't like be like, hey, we're just going to lay an egg and we're not going to try. But do you think they say, okay, we put the focus on the league because that's the most realistic thing we have?
I think that shifted to my person. I'll let Jake answer this as well, but I think the focus really shifted for Arsenal because of the hype that they're getting for leading the league, that the focus is the league. I think if you ask an Arsenal fan, yes, they would like to win Europa every day of the week, day in, day out. It's an automatic bid. Sure. You win Europa to get back into champions. You know, we've all done it. I think the way everything's been set up for Arsenal, it's 100% been the league since, I would say, the return of the World Cup. I think Europa has been
we haven't had to
thought
play
to them.
Europe since the turn of the World Cup.
True. I think Europa has been a second thought to them, and it just seems to be
Well,
their
we'll really
complete
see.
focus is
See,
the league.
I
We'll really
want to
tell.
make a counterpoint on that. And
Go ahead.
I think, honestly, you can't tell a team that's starting to believe that they can win to not go out and win. So I don't think you ship it. I think that you're gonna put the resources into it because, I mean, all right, let's just go back to the FA Cup, right? Arsenal puts out a team that was okay, but it was nothing like what City put out, and so they went and lost. Well, after they lost, they started having a dip in form. You know, they lost the Everton match. They started to struggle a little bit. You can't tell a team that knows how to win to stop winning. So you can't just go and ship it. You can't. So I think at this point, also, when you get this far into it, you got to go for it. I mean, you know, I think City's facing that right now. You know, they don't want to go for FA Cup, but they're there. Got to go for it. You know, so I don't think you can ship it and say, we don't care about it.
As a random aside, as City is realistically available for a treble, no one in media talked about that at all. No one.
It's because you weren't up for a quad, bro.
No one has talked about that, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
you're not up for the quadruple. It's not.
The
It's not
quad.
It's not
Neither are they. I'm out. I'm done.
But I think that and Lewis has made this point many times over in our conversations that it's more important to continue winning, as you say, Patrick. And I definitely agree with that on an objective level. I think what will be really telling is the lineup on Thursday. We're in Portugal. And what it's going to come down to for me, and I'm really curious because the lineup will tell how serious Arteta is taking it. And I think that if Martin Odegaard starts on the bench, I think it's a sign that Europa's a back seat.
Yeah.
It's either that or we have to admit that Arteta is just being stubborn about Fabio Vieira.
There you go. Go.
And I think it matters because the Fulham game on Sunday is not a joke, man. That's not a joke.
That's why I bring it up. That's why I say the lineup on Thursday will be telling because we have Palace after the home leg at home, which is a much more manageable game than Fulham away. Now, if it was Sporting in Portugal, Palace at home, Sporting at home, Fulham away, and we lost 3-0 in Portugal, yeah, he's resting people. You know, whatever. We probably wouldn't chase it in the home leg, you know, as hard. He's probably focused on the Fulham game.
Right.
I would be. But I think that he's going to do exactly what he did in the FA Cup. And it might not be 5 people rotated. It also, depends on if Trossard is healthy for the game.
What's the status of Jesus? Is it now? How far away is he?
I mean, everything I've seen turns out to be clickbait, so I'm not sure. He was supposed to be on the bench for this game. He was supposed to, so
He's your
I'm not
N'Golo
sure.
Kante, yeah.
Even if he's like good to go, I doubt he starts on Thursday.
Well, it says late March. I'm looking now. It says late March.
Mm,
But I guess they're not going to play him until April.
Probably not. Probably not. Maybe not even to Liverpool. But yeah, I think what the fans want is big club mentality. We want both. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
We do have the depth this time around.
The international break is after the Arsenal Crystal Palace game, right?
Yep.
I know.
I didn't
I don't know
know
how
it
you
was
all feel
international.
about international break. I know Guardiola hates it. What do you do when Brazil? Notice I said when. I was going to say if, but I've changed to when. When Brazil calls Jesus up, because they're going to call him. They're going to call him, man.
Yeah, they're
You know
gonna have to.
call him.
Tell them no. Tell them no. Just straight up. What are you playing in the
what-
Nations League? Get out of here.
How many players have said no to their national team?
Yeah, I understand. And it's Brazil. I mean, I get it. I get it for sure.
And he'll be healthy then.
Yeah.
He'll be healthy then. He's going to get called up.
I really hope they tell them no, honestly. I really hope they tell Brazil, this is where you can get off the train. But I doubt it, as you say.
He's
I
what,
doubt it.
25? He's 25, right? I think 25, 26, something like that.
Yeah.
He can't kind of blow him off. He
I
got a
agree.
lot of years left.
I agree wholeheartedly. It's just is what it is, to be honest with you, But yeah. Arsenal march on, another emotional win. I think my one last final point, real quick. People have been saying that that's not how, they're not going to be able to sustain these emotional wins. City have won the league by clicking on in the last 10 games, for the last 5 seasons or whatever. Yeah, well, that's how City win the league. Patrick, you said it. Arsenal are learning to win, and we're winning the Arsenal way. We're doing it
Right.
our way. This new group of kids are playing their game their way, winning games their way. We're not worried about how City does it. We're not worried about how Chelsea won the league a few years back. We're not worried about how Liverpool won a couple of years ago. We're winning how Arsenal are going to win it, and I'm absolutely loving every minute of it. And if you are too, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Get that notification bell on. We definitely got more coming at you.